Welcome to today's deep dive. We're going to explore this concept of LPOT.
Uh-huh.
It stands for Lonely People Out There.
Interesting.
And we've got some excerpts from like a document, kind of outlines, their purpose, how they're
Uh,
using the internet to create a sense of belonging, especially during the holidays,
Right.
which I thought was a really cool, kind of unique way to tackle this kind of huge issue of loneliness. So,
It is fascinating how they're addressing a problem that's, so personal, right?
yeah.
The document highlights that over 58% of people in the USA experience loneliness occasionally.
Wow, 58%?
It's a lot more than you might think, probably.
It is.
Yeah.
So LPOT is designed to combat that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But what makes their approach unique?
Well, they're focusing on kind of a specific group, right? So
Right.
people who are celebrating milestones alone without that external support or
Oh,
congratulations.
I see.
So it's like, hey, even if you don't have someone physically there, you're not alone in this moment.
That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah,
It's not just general loneliness, it's about
exactly.
the lack of shared joy, maybe during special occasions.
Yeah.
So how are they actually reaching these people?
Well, they're using a multi-platform approach.
Oh,
So, they've got a YouTube channel for live streams, content, that sort of thing.
okay.
But they're also using something called Discord,
Discord.
which is basically a platform where people can, chat in real time. They can join groups
yeah.
or even play games together.
So for those that don't know Discord, it's kind of like a virtual big hangout space.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But more, I guess, structured in this instance.
Yeah.
So by combining those, they're trying to provide this sort of constant sense of connection,
Right.
especially during the holidays.
Yeah.
They actually promote this idea of what they call virtual festivities,
Okay.
which are available 24/7.
So it's like creating this always on work where people can connect and celebrate no matter,
Yeah.
what time zone they're in.
Exactly.
I'm curious, does the document talk about like the psychology behind this 2004-7 approach?
It does, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it touches upon that.
Okay.
Because,
Yeah.
loneliness doesn't really operate on a schedule.
Right.
It can kind of hit you at any moment.
Yeah.
So having that space
Mhm.
allows people to, reach out
Right.
or engage whenever they might feel that pang of isolation,
Yeah.
especially, late at night,
Mm.
maybe when the world seems a bit quieter
Right.
and that loneliness might feel amplified.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a safety net, a
exactly.
virtual community that never sleeps.
Yeah, well put.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond just chatting as well.
Oh, okay.
They're planning virtual gifts and surprises for members.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like recreating those little joys. Or acts of kindness that can make holidays feel special, even when you're alone physically.
So they're not just offering a space to connect, they're trying to
Exactly.
inject some fun and
Exa-
excitement into the mix.
Yeah, absolutely.
It seems like they're really putting a lot of thought into
Yeah,
a positive and supportive environment.
absolutely. And they're not doing it alone either.
Oh, okay.
The document mentions that there's a call for moderators.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so they're inviting members to play a part in shaping the community.
That's cool. That suggests a sense of kind of shared ownership, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just top down. It's a real
Exactly.
collaborative effort.
Yeah, that participatory aspect is crucial, right?
Yeah.
It empowers members to contribute, share their skills, and ensure that the community reflects the needs of the people in it.
This collaborative approach seems especially important when you're dealing with loneliness.
Right.
Rather than being passive recipients of support, they're active participants in creating the space.
Exactly,
Yeah.
where everyone feels valued.
But how exactly does LPOT ensure this sense of inclusion and warmth in an online environment?
That's a good question.
Replicating a physical community online can be pretty challenging, so.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It does require a different approach.
Yeah.
And that's where their 12 Days of Christmas programming comes in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a key initiative they highlight in the document. So it's the debut event, coincides with their first podcast episode.
Oh, cool.
It's a series of activities, events spread across 12 days.
Okay.
And it's all designed to kind of foster that feeling of shared celebration and connection.
Ah, like their grand opening.
Exactly, yeah.
Using the holidays to
Oh.
draw people in
Yeah,
and
yeah.
create that, initial spark.
Exactly, yeah. Get that ball rolling.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So what kind of activities are we talking about here?
Well, they've got a variety of stuff planned. you
Yeah.
know. They've got live streamed, holiday themed
Okay.
games, movie watch parties,
Oh, nice.
even virtual cookie decorating contests,
Oh, wow.
and a talent show.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, they're really trying to tap into those like
Right.
traditional holiday activities,
Yeah.
but translate them into a fun, engaging online format.
It's interesting how they're taking those kind of familiar, comforting aspects of the holidays,
Yeah.
making them accessible to people who,
Exactly.
might not be able to experience them in a traditional way.
Right.
Yeah, it's like they're bridging the gap between the physical and the digital worlds.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But how do those activities actually contribute to,
Yeah. It's a good question.
combating loneliness?
It's definitely more than just entertainment, right?
Okay.
It's about creating those shared
Mhm.
experiences,
Right.
opportunities for interaction,
Yeah.
a sense of belonging.
Right.
Think about it. When you participate in these things, you're not just,
Passively watching.
Yeah.
You're actively engaging with others,
Right.
sharing laughs,
yeah,
maybe even forming, new friendships.
you're right. It's that element of active participation that's key.
Exactly.
It's not just consuming,
Yeah.
content. It's about being part of something bigger
Mm-hmm.
than yourself.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
the difference between watching a holiday parade on TV
Yeah.
and actually being there
Exactly.
in the crowd, surrounded by that,
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah. That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And LPOT understands the importance of,
Right.
providing those opportunities.
Yeah.
The document specifically mentions they're creating dedicated spaces for people to mingle
Oh, okay.
and connect, both on their YouTube channel and their Discord server.
Right.
So, imagine baking cookies in your kitchen while chatting and laughing with others
Yeah.
who are doing the same thing, all thanks to the internet,
It's almost like, a virtual neighborhood.
where people can just drop in, chat with their neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Participate in those activities, all from the, comfort of their own home.
Right.
Yeah,
Powerful concept,
it is.
especially for those who might feel isolated or disconnected.
Yeah. Yeah. But we've talked a lot about YouTube.
Sure.
I kind of want to circle back to Discord for a minute.
Okay. Yeah.
Could you paint a picture of what interacting on their Discord server might actually feel like?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So picture this.
Okay.
You log in, right? And you're greeted with a warm welcome message.
Okay.
And there's this bustling feed of conversation.
Right.
You can browse through different channels,
Yeah. Yeah.
dedicated to specific interests or hobbies, or even just casual chit-chat.
Okay.
Maybe you join a voice chat room
Uh-huh.
where people are playing holiday-themed games.
Right.
Or you could just type in a text channel, share
Yeah.
your thoughts or experiences.
Right.
It's really like, stepping into a virtual living room
Yeah.
filled with, friendly faces and engaging conversations.
It sounds like a space where you can be yourself,
Yeah,
kind of dip your toes into different conversations.
exactly.
Find your level of comfort and interaction.
Yeah, that's the key.
Yeah, it seems like there's a real emphasis on
Mm-hmm.
creating a safe and inclusive environment
Absolutely.
where people can,
Yeah.
connect authentically
Yeah.
without feeling pressured or judged.
Yeah. And the document actually talks about this.
Oh, okay.
They emphasize that everyone is welcome,
Right.
regardless of background, experiences, comfort level with online interaction.
Okay.
They encourage people to participate at their own pace.
Yeah.
Whether that's, actively engaging in conversation
Right.
or just kind of observing from the sidelines.
Right.
So it's about creating that space where everyone feels
Right.
comfortable, supported,
Yeah.
whether they're, seasoned online folks or taking their first steps in the digital world.
It's like they're acknowledging that, taking that first step,
Mm-hmm.
putting yourself out there
Yeah,
can be a hurdle for some.
absolutely, especially when dealing with
Yeah.
feelings of loneliness
Yeah.
or social anxiety.
It's refreshing to see a community that's actively trying to, break down those barriers.
Absolutely.
Create a truly welcoming and inclusive environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They achieve this inclusivity not just through messaging, though, right?
Oh, okay.
It's also through their multi-platform approach.
Right.
So by being present on YouTube, Discord, other social media,
Right.
they're casting a wider net, reaching people where they already are,
I see.
right? And providing those different avenues for connection.
Yeah, like offering a diverse menu of social interaction,
Exactly, yeah.
catering to different
Preferences.
and comfort levels.
Yeah.
It's like they're saying, we get it. Not everyone wants to jump into a live voice chat right away. You can connect with us through, videos, text, whatever feels best for you.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that everyone's,
Right.
journey with loneliness is unique
Yeah.
and offering those pathways to finding,
Right.
support.
And connection.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what's really remarkable about LPOT. It's their deep understanding of loneliness and their commitment to addressing it in a very holistic and inclusive way.
Yeah, well said.
They're not just throwing together a few online events.
Right.
They're really crafting this multifaceted experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, designed to foster genuine connection, combat isolation, help people feel a little less lonely during what can be, a challenging time of year.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's inspiring to see how they're leveraging technology to create something so human-centric.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears a bit.
Sure.
Talk about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
We've explored the specifics of LPOT, but what does this approach tell us about the broader possibilities of, online communities in general?
That's a great question.
Can we learn from their model and apply it to other areas where people are experiencing isolation or a lack of connection?
I think the answer is a resounding yes.
Okay.
LPOT is a fascinating kind of case study in how we can use technology to address those real human needs.
Right.
They're demonstrating that online spaces can be more than just platforms for entertainment or information sharing.
Yeah.
They could be really powerful tools for building meaningful connection,
Right.
fostering support,
Yeah.
creating a sense of belonging.
They're like proving that the internet can be a force for good, way to bridge those gaps between people, regardless of, physical distance or social barriers.
Yeah.
And what's striking is their focus on addressing that specific emotional need, loneliness. It's not just a generic online community.
Right.
It's a targeted intervention designed to combat this very real
and often overlooked
issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that targeted approach seems key.
Absolutely.
By focusing on that specific need
Yeah.
and tailoring their activities and platforms, they can create a more impactful and meaningful experience for their members.
Yeah, it's not just about throwing everyone in a virtual room and hoping they connect.
Right.
It's about creating this curated space that caters to those specific challenges and needs of those experiencing loneliness.
It's a powerful reminder that online communities, when designed with intention and empathy, can be truly transformative.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can offer a lifeline, to those struggling with isolation, provide a platform for those shared experiences and support, and ultimately help people feel seen, heard, and connected.
Yeah, well said.
It's inspiring to see how they're taking something as abstract as loneliness and translating it into this concrete and supportive online experience.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, if they can create this kind of impact during the holidays, what's the potential for something like LPOT to exist year-round?
Right.
Could this be a model for addressing loneliness and isolation beyond the festive season?
It's a good question.
Yeah, I think that's a question worth pondering.
Yeah, that's a really, interesting question.
Yeah.
Could LPOT's model be adapted for that kind of year-round support?
Yeah.
It raises some, interesting questions about, how sustainable a community like this could be.
Right.
And, how their members' needs might evolve beyond just the holiday season.
Yeah. The holidays are often seen as a particularly lonely time.
Right.
But loneliness can strike anyone any time of year.
Absolutely, yeah.
So if LPOT wants to have, a lasting impact, they got to consider how their approach might need to, adapt and evolve.
Exactly, yeah. And the document doesn't, explicitly address their long-term plans or anything.
Right.
But it does kind of hint at this desire to create a sustainable and impactful community.
Okay.
Remember the call for moderators?
Yeah.
That suggests they're thinking about building a framework that can be maintained, expanded upon, potentially, beyond that initial 12-day launch.
It's a good point. Building a strong foundation from the start.
Yeah.
If they want LPOT to really flourish long term.
Yeah.
But it also makes you think, what are the unique challenges of addressing loneliness year round as opposed to just during the holidays?
Well, I think one challenge might be maintaining engagement.
Oh, okay.
The holidays offer kind of a natural focal point.
Yeah.
Shared sense of anticipation, excitement.
Yeah, right.
But keeping that level up throughout the year.
Right.
That could be tricky.
That makes sense. The novelty of holiday-themed activities might wear off after a while, so they'd need to find ways to keep things fresh.
Exactly. Yeah, and engaging.
Perhaps focusing on a wider range of interests, activities, or even incorporating elements of personal growth, maybe?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's about catering to those diverse needs and interests and constantly evolving to make sure the community stays relevant and fulfilling. They might even think about bringing in some elements of mentorship or peer support.
Oh, okay.
Create a space where people can not only connect, but also learn from each other, support each other in navigating those, challenges of loneliness.
Yeah, it's like taking that concept of LPOT and expanding it beyond just a virtual gathering place.
Exactly. Yeah.
Turning it into a platform for personal growth and empowerment.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Imagine a community where you could not only find connection, but also develop coping mechanisms, build resilience, and ultimately equip yourself with the tools to combat loneliness.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
At a deeper level.
It really is. It's inspiring to see how this, seemingly simple idea of creating this online community for the holidays can spark such
profound possibility.
Yeah, absolutely. LPOT is still early days, but it's already making us rethink how we approach loneliness, both, individually and as a society.
Absolutely. And I think that's the most valuable thing we can take away from this deep dive.
Okay.
LPOT is more than just a community.
Right.
It's a reminder that loneliness is a shared human experience.
Yeah.
And finding those creative and compassionate ways to connect, both online and offline, is really essential for our well-being.
Well said. It's a challenge that calls for innovation, empathy, a willingness to think outside the box.
Yeah, absolutely.
And who knows, maybe LPOT will be the spark that ignites a larger movement, inspiring us to create more spaces, both virtual and physical, where everyone feels seen, heard, and connected.
Yeah, that's something worth striving for.
It is.
Absolutely.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive today.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
It's been a fascinating exploration of LPOT.
Absolutely.
And a great reminder that even in our increasingly digital world, human connection is more important than ever.
It really is.
So to our listeners out there, we encourage you to keep this conversation going. Think about the ways you can foster that sense of belonging in your own communities, both online and offline.
Absolutely. And as always, thanks for listening.
And until next time, stay connected.